Bonjour, je m'appelle Kara et dans cette vidéo que j'ai réalisée avec Simon et Zineb, je vais vous parler du processus d'embauche en France. Trouver un travail est une expérience avec laquelle tout le monde est familier. La France et les États-Unis ont des idéologies différentes, donc il n'est pas surprenant que la procédure de l'embauche diffère un peu aussi. Nous allons discuter trois aspects de cette procédure, les différences entre l'embauche aux États-Unis et en France, les problèmes de la discrimination à l'embauche et comment les deux pays essaient de prévenir ces problèmes. Dans la procédure de l'embauche, il y a beaucoup de similarités entre la France et les États-Unis, comme l'utilisation d'un CV, les lettres de motivation et l'entretien d'embauche. Cependant, il y a plusieurs différences notables. En France, on inclut dans son CV des informations personnelles plus que dans le CV américain. Le CV français peut comprendre votre date de naissance, votre état civil, votre nationalité et votre photo. Cette transparence fournit des informations supplémentaires, mais elle provoque quelquefois la discrimination. En septembre 2016, le Défenseur des droits, une organisation pour protéger les droits des hommes, a dit qu'il y a des discriminations à l'embauche liées à l'origine, en particulier arabe et musulmane. De plus, selon l'INSEE, le taux d'emploi des Français d'origine maghrébine est de 60% contre 78% pour les personnes dont les deux parents sont français à la naissance. En essayant d'éviter ces problèmes, la France offre quelques solutions. Par exemple, en 2006, elle a adopté une loi qui ordonne la suppression des noms et des adresses des candidats sur le CV pour les rendre anonymes. Cependant, cette loi n'était jamais appliquée par les candidats et son décret d'application n'a jamais été publié. Un article dans le journal Libération publié en 2015 explique que le CV anonyme n'est pas réellement efficace parce que la discrimination se produira plus tard à l'entretien. L'article présente l'idée de la subvention à l'embauche pour les minorités discriminées, imaginée par Marie-Anne Velfort, mais en plus de ne pas offrir pas de réponse globale aux discriminations à l'embauche, cette idée reste de la discrimination en proposant de traiter différemment les candidats. Il est donc évident qu'il y a encore beaucoup de travail nécessaire pour résoudre cette situation complètement.
Everybody, I'm Zineb.
And I am Simon.
And in this video, we're going to talk about hiring from the American perspective. So, as Kara mentioned earlier, finding a job is a long process that one has to go through either after graduating, pursuing a dream job, or before graduating when looking for an internship. The process starts by preparing an anonymous resume which highlights the applicant's skills and experience, then writing a cover letter that accentuates his motivation and ambitions. Finally, all that preparation leads to the hiring process. We'll focus especially on this video on discrimination that may deny a competent applicant from getting the job based on her or on his or her ethnicity, gender, age, or any other factor unrelated to the job. So, even if there are strict laws that prohibit discrimination in any hiring process, this phenomenon is very hard to get rid of, especially since it's hard to prove. Discrimination has many faces: gender, race, age, religion, and a lot more. It has changed in the last 50 or 60 years from a time when gender discrimination was a normal thing, since women didn't have a chance to get in a job in most of fields and were restricted to certain jobs such as secretaries and few others. Although we rarely still see this kind of discrimination, another kind remains prevalent. It may be said that race discrimination is a more prominent problem today. So, gender discrimination in the US is among the most prominent and is often difficult to prove, based on the fact that the number of young women in the field of technology programs and engineering is extremely low compared to many other professions. We must try to find an explanation for this difference. If you keep in mind that an employee's main goal is to get the most out of the employees that he hires, you can imagine how some employers may feel about employing a woman that has the right to take maternity leave, so which can be costly and last for extended periods of time. One difference between US and France hiring policies in that in the US are allowed to ask women if they are pregnant. On the contrary, in France, it's against allowed to ask this kind of questions to women, since it's considered a discrimination between the two genders.
However, the discrimination extends beyond gender. Studies in the United States and Canada, which sent out resumes with different genders and ethnic backgrounds, showed that minority applicants consistently receive fewer interview offers. But even if an anonymous resume reduces discrimination based on the resume itself, discrimination may still take place during the interview. Discrimination during the interview can be equally as conscious as it can be unconscious. Unconscious bias affects recruiting skills more than interviewers are aware of. Beauty, affinity, or similarity biases unconsciously influence the interviewer. According to the economist Iris Bonnet, interviews are probably the most overvalued instrument at our disposal. If the standard interview as we know it fails to be fair and equitable and to pick the best applicant, it should be redesigned. In 1998, Schmidt and Hunter published a ranking of means to predict future job performance. According to Schmidt and Hunter, the standard interview, which is the unstructured one, ranks 5th, and a more common way of interviewing in the US, which is the structured interview, ranks 2nd. So, structured interviews, which are uncommon in France, are uncommon practice in the United States. They are used, for example, by the United States Postal Service. Structured interviews ask the same questions in the same order to every applicant. They do not require the development of rapport between interviewer and interviewee, and they can produce consistent data that can be compared across a number of respondents. So as conclusion, the appraisal of the anonymous CV in the US goes beyond Schmidt and Hunter's study. In a country where it is believed that anyone can achieve greatness, the anonymous CV and other precautions attempt to keep the American dream alive. Everyone there should have a chance at success despite gender or race. And as for France, it is easy to relate the Chinese word for French, which is country of the law, to the French government's way of dealing with discrimination. Law after law, enforcing quotas and offering subventions to hire minorities, yet the discrimination during the hiring process is still far from over.
Thank you for your attention.